Greetings, beloved. It is planting time. As you can see, we have what we call a custard apple here. Some call it sweet apple. So it is time for us to plant. So yep, you need one of these, a digging fork. It's quite important because it loosens the soil. You know, when you plant something, you want the roots to be a bit free. So if the soil is too hard, it actually makes it difficult for the roots, to go deeper, and also to have that anchor in the soil. So a digging fork, it's quite important because it will help to loosen the soil. The soil is quite hard here in Windhoek, but it can be done. And also, maybe one other thing that I must say is, don't dig a very small hole. At least make a meter, 4 square meter, so that way it makes it. It's like you're making enough room, for the roots to travel in this soft soil that you have digged. So that's why a digging fork is quite important, and also make sure that you have at least 4 square meters, just to ensure enough space and room for the plant. We have a long weekend, so I thought, it's the right time for me to plant something. I love fruits, so besides not just fruits, but the ones that I have planted myself, it is always a blessing to finally eat, the fruits of your labor. Gives you a good feeling. And besides I've been looking for this fruit. This is called custard apple, and I've tried to look for it in fruit and veg. In many other shops, I could not find it. So I decided, if I can't find the fruit, why can't I plant the tree? So I looked for the tree, and then I found one. And one other thing that I must say is that it is always best to get a plant that is half grown, not something that is too small, because it will take a lot of time for you to finally eat of it. So as you can see, this one, it is quite grown. So probably within a year's time, I should be able to get some fruits from this custard apple. If you have tasted a custard apple or a sweet apple, trust me, it's one of the beautiful fruits that I have ever eaten. So that's why I want to have one of my own. Quite interesting. So you can see, okay, still wrapped up and ready to be transplanted in its new home. Okay. I'll show you now the size of this hole that I have dug, just to give you a clue, that it shouldn't be too small. You need to make room for the plant. It will help with growth. Okay. must say the soil for some reason looks good actually. So I think it's about time for me to, maybe before I put it in the soil, before I put the plant in the soil, the sweet apple or custard apple, I'll have to water a bit, you know, just to have a bit of moisture and to ensure that once it gets here, the soil is already moist and, you know, ready for the roots. All right. Okay, I think the tap is off, so I will have to go and open the tap and then continue with this process. All right, so before I put the plant in the ground, a bit of watering, just to make sure that, you know, the soil is moist and ready for my sweet apple or custard apple. Okay. All right, I think it's now wet. Isn't it amazing how useful water is? You know, water is very useful. Just to dig a bit again so that the water can go in the soil. Okay, I'll add a bit of water again. All right, I wanted to add manure, but the soil looks good for me. So for now, I think I'll just plant the sweet apple as is. And then if I notice that it's not growing properly, then maybe I can add some manure, because you can always improve the soil as you observe how a plant is growing. Then you can actually work on the soil. But I must say that I'm excited because, as I said earlier, I love sweet apples or custard apple. It's a wonderful fruit. You can Google it and check it. But if you have tasted it, you know what I'm referring to. Okay. There is one other thing that I have to get, and that thing is called a hand shovel. I call it a hand shovel. So I just have to check if it's there, so I can just make enough room for me to place the sweet apple in the soil. So let me get the hand shovel and then continue with this wonderful session. That's a hand shovel for you. So just to make sure that I make enough room, you know, for the sweet apple. Okay. This oil looks very good, and I'm sure that sweet apple will be quite happy in its new home. Okay. All right, so once this is done, now it's time to remove the wrapping. So you can see, one can just use a knife to do this. It's much easier. Much easier. No, please. You are being captured, madam. Okay, so ready for planting our sweet apple.
Oh, that's what you.
Okay,
Okay.
it seems someone wants to join me. This is your wonderful new home. Custard apple or sweet apple. Okay, I see there are worms here. Worms actually play a very crucial role because they break down the soil, you know. And then, Mama, don't remove the leaves. Yeah, you know, they break down the soil to ensure that all those nutrients actually dissolve when you water a plant, so that the roots can take in those nutrients. So yeah, I think most of the work is done. So now we just have to put back some of the soil to ensure that you know, our plant settles properly, and then we can water a bit. Okay? Please leave the camera, Mama. Leave the camera, please. Okay. Please leave the camera, Mama. Leave it, it will fall.
Oh, come here. Let me go wash you. Come, let's go back.
Okay. Someone is trying to take away the camera.
It's yours.
It's yours. Oh, it will fall down. No.
Sorry.
It will fall down. Please leave the camera.
Come, Mama. Come inside. What is this remote for? What is the remote for?
Like you can switch on and then.
No, you switch off the TV. Bring it. Put it back. It's yours. I can't even lift it. Okay, I still recording.
Okay, planting is done for now, so we just have to add a bit of water. Ensure that our plant is not stressed, happy, and I think we might have to put something here just to support it a bit, because the stem is not that strong yet. But yeah, so far so good. Okay. In a year from now, I expect to get some fruits from my sweet apple. Okay, maybe let me just show you the space around the plant, because it's very important. So you need to loosen the soil around the plant to ensure that the roots can spread easily. So don't just dig a small hole. Okay. So as you can see there, the space, maybe it's about a meter square. Yeah, just to ensure that there's enough room for the roots. And yeah, it's still small, but I believe it will grow as quickly as possible because we'll take care of it. And yeah, the planting is done. The planting is done. So, you know, I just love planting. I mean, fruits are just the best. Okay, until we meet next time, be blessed.